Is expected to kick off in Durban this afternoon. Last month, the elective conference was halted by the Pietermaritzburg High Court after some party members approached the court.
Well, they claimed there had been interference in some regions, including the lower south coast, Mabhida and Harry Gwala districts. Well, the court last year also ruled that the results of the November 2015 elective conference were unlawful. An interim leadership structure, the provincial task team, was then set up to ensure that the conference did take place. The PTT and the members that had taken the party to court last week announced that they had settled their differences for the sake of a unified party in the province. The ANC's NEC member Zizi Kodwa says unity is crucial.
Unity is a process. Whatever challenges and obstacles we face in the process of building unity, we shall overcome them. I think ultimately KwaZulu-Natal will unite. KwaZulu-Natal as a province of the African National Congress will rise up to the occasion. There will always be intra-differences around issues of unity, but we have no option. There is no alternative to unity. We have only one option as the African National Congress, unity. That's why a week ago, led by President Ramaphosa, visited a number of areas in the province, among others to lay a foundation of this unity. Because there's got to be a base where you start to build unity. You may not achieve overnight.
Well, for more on the conference, we now cross live to our reporter Ayanda Mhlongo, who's in Durban. A very good afternoon to you, Ayanda. Thanks very much for joining us. When I spoke to you a little bit earlier on, in fact, right now I can see that that hall is empty and it should have thousands of delegates. What's happening?
A very good afternoon to you, Peter and Kirshni. Indeed, Peter, it was supposed to have started this conference at 2 p.m. this afternoon, and we've been crossing to you to our programs earlier on from the Mabhida Stadium, where the delegates were arriving in their numbers to register before making their way here. But what we can tell you now, Peter, is that the woes of the ANC, particularly in this province, seem to go on. We are now just been told that there is yet another urgent interdict that has now been filed at the Pietermaritzburg High Court as we speak, where members of the ANC have gone to court to try and stop this conference. Feels a little bit like deja vu. If you remember last time, Peter, around about this time we were waiting for the opening of the conference, and that was in June, and again there was that an urgent court interdict, which resulted in, of course, the Pietermaritzburg High Court ruling in favor of those 6 applicants, and it led to the cancellation of that conference. We're back in a similar situation now. In fact, we were hoping to speak to the convener of the provincial task team here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Mabhida, and currently I can tell you that he is locked in an urgent meeting with the provincial task team as well as the national leaders of the ANC as they await news from Pietermaritzburg as to how the court will rule. Will this conference of the ANC in this province go ahead, or will once again the court possibly find in favor of these applicants? There's not a lot that we know yet, Peter. I know my colleague Mlondi Khatebe, he is at the court as we speak. Not a lot that we know yet on who these applicants are and what the basis for their court bid is. As I said, my colleague is there, and we will hopefully be getting to you and to our viewers all that information as it comes through. But it's an anxious await here at the hall at the Durban University of Technology. And you've said it's still quiet here. Very little people who have started to arrive. Just a few of the veterans. They are here as well, not too happy. Just speaking to some of them, they said they were really not happy with what is happening here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. They were hopeful that this time the party had been able to sort out its issues from last time. And earlier on we spoke to the leadership of the ANC as well as the NEC deployees to this province, who said that they had worked really hard here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal KwaZulu-Natal had crisscrossed the 11 regions, meeting with all those who were unhappy and had concerns that they'd raised to try and deal with them. And as far as they knew, all those matters had been dealt with, and that they were really hopeful that this conference was going to go ahead without any challenges or any disruptions. And of course now, sadly, it wasn't to be. But court has not ruled as yet. We are still awaiting that decision, which will determine whether or not they proceed here. The delegates, I would understand, many of them had registered. Still a few other 1 or 2 regions that were still had to register down at Moses Mabhida before they make their way here. So we don't know whether or not this latest development now with this court interdict, that is what has held them back as they await whether or not they should make their way here for the conference to start, or whether or not they will, as last time, have to return back to their homes. Peter.
All right, and it seems as if the ANC leadership might have been caught by surprise here, that suddenly we've got these delegates that have gone to court. Were there any mutterings of discontent at all in the lead up to this?
They've been caught by surprise, Peter. As I said earlier on, we spoke to the NEC deployee who's leading the national leadership in the province, Me Nokawe Mafu. And she said that as far as they know, they'd worked a lot behind the scenes here in KwaZulu-Natal. There's that National Dispute Resolution Committee that is headed by the party's National Deputy Secretary General, Mayor Jesse Duarte, who spent a considerable amount of time here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, visiting all the 11 regions where there were concerns, and they said they'd met with every single one of those members that had raised issues, be it manipulation, be it bogus branches. And in fact, they'd even said that this time around, last time in June, there was an estimated 680 voting delegates, and this time that number was going to increase because of the new members, or those that are now been allowed to be part of this conference. And they were certain that everything had been sorted out, and this has really come by a surprise. There was no indication. We had heard rumors of it, but of course we could not have confirmed because we did not know who these disgruntled members were, and we of course would only want to tell our viewers once we have concrete credible information, which we did not at that time. And so we can I just saw some of them, the convener or the coordinator of the PTT in KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Sihle. In fact, I'm looking up now to try and see whether or not we are going to be able to get Mr. Mike Mabhida, but he's just been walking around. You can just see the disappointment and the confusion that some of the leaders have. It seems that they were not expecting this to happen, and so we are waiting that information to give you more information, Pete, on to who these members are and what exactly their concerns. But I think it's going to be quite disappointing. Earlier on, Peter, we spoke to some of the delegates at Moses Mabhida, and they were saying that they were really, really disappointed last time. They want to see the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal move forward. They want to now start working on unity in the province, and more importantly for them, Peter, is the 2019 elections, that they want to go to the elections with a leadership in KwaZulu-Natal. Of course, the ANC hard hit in the 2016 local government elections, and they really want to work on the lost ground, a number of areas that they still have to deal with here in the province, and they needed to have a structure in place, or a leadership that was going to assist and lead the ANC to these elections. And so now it's a waiting game now to find out what the Pietermaritzburg High Court will rule, but certainly one can tell you that it's going to be another very disappointing for the members of the ANC.
All right, Ayanda, that's where we're going to leave it. Certainly a strong sense of déjà vu there. We've been here before, but Ayanda and the rest of our team on the ground there will keep you up to date with that story as it develops.